What I gathered from his worldview in this interview, trying to really make sense of it, was that he feels like U.S. power may replace international law based on what he deems to be international law. And then who decides that? It seems like it's Trump. It seems like he's putting profit over democracy, specifically having no plan for Venezuela laid out very clearly. And force has replaced planning, because we went in there and pulled Maduro out, have him in a U.S. prison, and claimed that this is all about a war on drugs, but immediately started talking about oil. And then alone, he's deciding the limits, because there's no effective timeline or strategy of when we'll leave Venezuela. And some disturbing things that I talked about in my lens yesterday were the fact that the current administration that Trump has basically bolstered up into power, saying they're working well, are saying totally different things when it comes down to talking to the people of Venezuela when they're on state television and when they're bashing what President Trump has done. And so I just see that there's already a boiling conflict on him supporting what's going on over there and then what they're actually doing, because we know that military leaders have gone in and searched people's phones to look for things they might have said about Maduro that are negative, and they're already being even more repressive to a country that had 80% of people impoverished and feeling oppressed already. So I don't know how we have relieved them from any of that stuff. And even though I don't think that this is America first to go in there and try to nation build, now that we pulled Maduro out, we cannot just leave them in this state where the military is doing whatever, grabbing phones and just, making people comply.
Yeah, this is always the sticky part of getting involved in regime change, is that what comes next after you depose the leader. And that is that part of the plan has not been communicated properly to the American people, if there is a plan. They so far have basically the number two to Maduro still in power, as the U.S. is sort of overseeing what's happening. And it sounds to me like the idea that he does have is that the year-long process would be more so as the U.S. in a supervisory role of making sure that the replacement regime is sufficiently pro-U.S., loyal to the U.S., however you want to put it,